Hey everybody, welcome back once again to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast. I am Isaac.
I am Alva.
And this is, of course, the show where we cover movies on that growing list of films that has people asking us the question, you haven't seen that?
See, I didn't leave you hanging like last time.
Welcome once again. If you're not familiar with the podcast, welcome first timers. If you're not aware, because you're a first timer and you're listening to us in the future, you can watch us on live stream. And we do that, Alva, at
FREHED Films.
that spells out Forehead Films on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, you took that away from me.
Sorry.
How dare you?
I was like, I'm caffeinated. I'm hitting this thing. And if you want to support us, we really appreciate it. There's a season to give. You could do so on our Venmo at YHST Pod to help us do these things to, kind of whatever production stuff. Anyhow, we're here bringing you two movies, two animated films, quote unquote, live action, but they're really like animated films. And then, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Alva hasn't seen the new Superman trailer.
It's not much of a surprise. It's just like talent that I have not seen this.
So we'll get her reaction and we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we will do a little trivia, the penultimate segment, as well as our Rotten Tomatoes thing. That's our penultimate segment. And then the final segment is trivia. What kind of trivia are we covering? You want to tease it now or just have people wait?
Nah, we can wait.
We can
wait.
Okay, so we watched two movies. Those movies are
Mufasa the Lion King and Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Which would you like to talk about first?
Mufasa.
Okay, go ahead. Open it up.
It's Mufasa. There's really not much to it. It's before he became the king of Pride Rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got so far. We do have Aaron Pierre, Blue Ivy, and who else? Beyonce as well as some of the voices.
Mads Mikkelsen I didn't know that it was him. I didn't recognize him. And of course, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa and Billy Eichner as Timon.
Yes. Can't forget those.
It's the prequel that nobody was really asking for. So, quite a few episodes ago, one of our first couple of intermissions, when this movie was announced, we talked about the trailer. And I was kind of like, nobody was asking for this. And if they're going to do the prequel of the infamous, the beloved, the revered Mufasa, then it has to be epic. It has to be a story worth telling. Now, a lot of these quote unquote live action movies aren't really live action-ish. It's made to look photoreal, but a lot of the times there's a lot of CG stuff getting thrown in there. So you're like, well, How to Train Your Dragon. It's live action, but you're still watching some CG characters. Same thing with Leave It Alone Stitch, all these other things. So it's like, what are they going to be doing in order to feel like it's worth watching, if not just the same story? And if they're telling the same story, are they at least going to hit the same emotional beats? What was really cool as far as like the freedom with this movie is I don't think the story of Mufasa has been told. So they have room to play with.
So much room.
What were your initial thoughts going into it? Your initial thoughts. I gave mine.
One was, how are they going to do the animation to make it look as realistic as possible? Because I know, what was it with Jungle Book? They did it pretty well, and then they missed the mark on, what was that movie right after Jungle Book? That was...
Mowgli?
No. It was a Disney movie, but it was very like live action as well. And then you're like, they made the heads move too much and the eyes blinking or whatever.
Oh, what was that?
So my main focus was that, and then how they're going to be telling this one. Also, prior to all this, James Earl Jones passed away.
That's right.
So now I'm more interested on like what is going to be the little
in memoriam.
Yeah, that.
Did you know that he outright said, "Hey, you can use my voice. You can AI the hell out of it. So have it."
I did not know that. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Now you know. So the first Lion King, the quote unquote live action Lion King.
That's the one.
So I think that they did a really good job in making the animals look photorealistic. They looked like animals. But my whole problem with that movie was that they acted too much like animals as they're giving these really emotional and epic dialogue. And for me personally, it didn't work, and it missed out on some of those emotional beats. This one made up for it. The animals models, I was in amazement. They looked wonderful.
There were some scenes where I'm like, wait, am I watching actual lines or is it like...
It was awesome. Even the scenery, like I was extremely impressed. Like I always say with all these other ones, especially when we were talking about Snow White, it's like, dude, we are in the era of advanced technology to make things look amazing. Why do the dwarfs look like crap? But we're not talking about that right now. This looked awesome. Even the animals, they changed it up where they could emote a little more.
Yeah.
And so, there wasn't that disconnect, and you can see how they're feeling and everything. And the voice actors were wonderful. Now, it sounds like I got a butt.
There is a butt.
Sounds like I got a butt. Sounds like I got a really big butt, and I do. One of my fears, even from just the trailer alone, was the camera was doing too much. Now, I know this is a kid's movie, and maybe I'm being really finicky and picky about it, but it's because I really want a lot out of these. Not a lot, but I don't want less than when it comes to these Disney movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the director, by the way, like Barry Jenkins, he's a very well-known director. I just don't think that it was, in my opinion, as this is all just fun chatter, I don't think that the directing was done well in this movie. It was paced very frenetically. The editing was quick paced, and I couldn't lock in on anything. And the camera movements themselves were doing way too much, almost like what was it, Jerry Bruckheimer or Michael Bay's Ambulance? Had a big problem with that movie. And that movie Ambulance, by the way, this is just a little to crap on it. Jake Gyllenhaal's like pouring coffee, and there's like 4 cameras just whipping around, super actiony, like, ugh. This movie didn't need that either. There's some moments that were very huge, had this like emotional weight to it, and they didn't allow those things to simmer. They didn't just let it sit. And this world that they're building, this beautiful, very beautiful world that they had built very carefully, meticulously, was lost in a simple, for instance, like, walking across the safari or whatever, and it's just like whipping around this way and that way, which you get motion blur, which means you lose a lot of detail in the world around you. And it was just, I couldn't focus. And not to sound like a wuss, but I was getting a little dizzy. I was like, Jesus, man, I got to like lay my eye, just like with Ambulance. I'm like, man, I got to keep my eyes off the screen. All right, is anything happening yet? So that's my thing on like, it took a lot, man, it really, this movie had a lot of potential in my opinion. And if they would have focused, if they would have calmed down the editing and chilled out on the camera movements, I feel like we could have gotten a lot more. It would have elevated those important scenes.
Mm-hmm. I also have a bone to pick with whoever was in charge of the music or the songs.
Oh, that's right. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah. There are some songs where I felt like they weren't as catchy as I usually would remember any Disney movie to be with their songs. So far, I think it's this movie and Moana 2 that kind of have missed that mark with having catchy songs.
Yeah.
That, and I think the other one was my own. This is all my one thing is Zazu. There is something about him. He looked like he was oily, like he hasn't washed his feathers in a while. And it bugged me. And I don't know if that's just a me thing or everyone else thing, but that was the only thing that really bugged me. But it did have a little bit of emotional parts of it. But I wasn't like, oh my God, that got me. But it was enough to be like, oh, like a little pinch in the feels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with James Earl Jones opening the whole movie, his lines, it was beautiful. And there's some scenes at the end that tugged at the heartstrings. But to go into the story a little bit, and I'm not going to spoil anything. None of my reviews are ever spoilers unless a movie is absolutely crappy, which at the forefront I'll always say. The story was okay. It wasn't set up. It didn't tell enough details to make it epic the way that Mufasa, the person that we love, who's all wise, is. They planted the seeds. They were there. It just didn't come through fully for me. There were some character turns. Obviously we know who we're talking about, right? There's some character turns that eventually was going to happen. You didn't know when and where and how, and then they did it. And I was like, for that? Really?
Yeah. I'm like, okay. I guess.
Okay. Let's move along. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like very kind of, in a way, anticlimactic with that. So much potential for that.
You were talking about music a few moments ago, and I wanted to Not only were the songs kind of not memorable, but I've never written songs, so I imagine that's a hard thing to do. But when we did get those musical numbers, all the opportunity, especially with like, sweeping camera movements and everything, all of the opportunity was there to choreograph a fun musical number. And they didn't do that. There is one particular scene, the song's probably called like Bye Bye, whatever, sung by Mads Mikkelsen. The fact that they got Mads Mikkelsen to voice the villain is cool, by the way. Hey, Disney money's cool, right? But like this particular scene, he's encroaching on another pride, and he's singing his villainy song, and they're just standing there. They're just standing there, and it's like a close-up on him, and a top-down view, and a wide shot, and a close-up, and that's it. No one's moving around and dancing and stuff, and I know they're animals, but like, you're going to incorporate music into this thing. You're going to make sure that these characters are a little more animated, and that this particular movie is that much more fantastical compared to the first one. That was just a hugely missed opportunity.
Yeah, just give me a little bit something. That's it.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie. It did have me. There were parts that did have me, and there were parts where it kind of would lose me a bit. But hopefully, maybe I can rewatch it and see it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think it was okay. I just for the level of like it being Disney and these live action things, like I want there to be this live action that they adapt, that it's like, you see, here's why we're doing it. It's because it's epic and it's huge. And for me, it just fell through. And I know probably a lot of people are going to disagree, which is totally fine. Like, that's why we do these things. But
how do your voice go up?
I don't know.
Okay.
But that's just particularly my own opinion. I think it's still fun enough to watch. I don't know if kids will enjoy it.
No, I think they will, but they won't really understand much unless they've seen the other one. I think it's still like a good movie to go take your kids. I mean, it's the holiday break, so might as well just take them.
If anybody has already seen it, and if anybody has taken their kids or is going to go see it and is going to take the kids, I'm honestly very curious to find out how much they actually enjoyed it and paid attention to the movie. My attention span was lacking watching that movie. Every other song came on, and I go, okay, just tell me when that's over. I want to move the plot along. Probably just a me thing. I might have been in a fucking mood. I don't know, but please let me know in the comments, in the DMs at Forehead Films. Any more you want to say about Lion King?
No, I say just go watch it, and then let me know what happens, and then after that, that's it.
Okay.
Next movie.
The new installment to the Sonic franchise, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Speed versus power, Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Dun, dun, dun. Do I really need to like say more than just the title of this thing? Like, do I have to like, there's a new villain and
Okay, so if you watch the previous movies, specifically the second one, at the end after credits scene, it is revealed that Shadow is being kept, and he escapes.
Escape.
I think what was fun about I love the Sonic movies. I have a lot of fun with them. They are that level of fun and epic and quirky that both kids and adults can enjoy, because I am a child of the 90s and I love Sonic the Hedgehog. And I think that Ben Schwartz did a great job voicing Sonic. And I never thought I would see Jim Carrey, one, back in like a comedy, and two, playing Dr. Robotnik. That's just a lot of fun.
I think this one got me more into Jim Carrey, because I think the last one I'm like, he had more potential. But this one I'm just like, potential was there. I see it. I was there. I was laughing.
I love these new additions, and it does feel like it's ways to bring on new characters at the end of each sequel or whatnot. And I mean, we ended up getting a Knuckles TV show on Paramount, I think. Has anybody watched that, by the way? The Knuckles show on Paramount? Let me know in the DMs. But with these movies, the story's never like anything huge and epic and big, or pulling at any particular heartstrings. Although there are some moments that they do that, but like it feels like a roller coaster for me, where the ride's going to end, they're going to have its ups and downs, and this was exactly that. Like, it was fun going in, it was exciting seeing everyone else enjoy it, and I walked out going like, that was a fun movie.
It was exciting seeing Keanu Reeves voice Shadow.
I know. He's doing his side quests now.
It's okay.
Yeah, he voiced a character recently on Amazon's Secret Level, which is so cool. They're like little mini episodes relating to games, and he did a guy piloting a Armored Core mech suit thing. Anyways, watch that. It's super, super fucking cool. No, I mean, I think I said on the last episode, like, people were saying this is as close to a Dragon Ball Z movie as we're going to get. And after watching it, dude, this is as close to a Dragon Ball Z thing as you're going to get, like, as far as live action.
Damn, yeah.
Everything looked cool. It was funny. I honestly don't have anything more to say other than, like, if you don't like the other Sonics, you're probably not going to like this one. And if you do like the other Sonics, just another one to go check out and have fun with. And the kids will very much definitely enjoy it. And there's some, like, meta things thrown in there. So, yeah, that's what it is. It's cool. It's fun.
Go watch it. That's all I got to say.
Okay, moving on.
Oh, I did have it.
We now move on to the next segment that I like to call White Just Tea Gets Fresh. Every other episode, we alternate in guessing the Rotten Tomatoes critic and audience score, as well as giving our own personal rating on the movies that we just talked about. From 0 to 100, 59 and below being rotten and 60 and above being fresh. It's my turn to guess. And which movie are we starting with?
Mufasa!
Okay, Mufasa. My personal rating for Mufasa is I'm going to give it a barely fresh. I'm going to give it a 60.
Okay.
And I think that the critics probably rated it a 55, and I think audience liked it at like a 75.
Okay. So critics gave it a 56. Audience gave it an 88.
Yeah.
That makes sense, yeah.
That sounds about right. This is the same audience, by the way, that liked Moana 2. I personally didn't really like Moana 2, and I think that people got duped. And that's exactly how I feel about this
Wait,
one.
but I'm on this audience where I gave it at least an 80.
You liked it? You give it an 80?
Yeah, because there was parts where like I was like, oh, my little
80's
heartstrings.
high, though. I give it barely fresh.
Well, that's your opinion. That's
It
why
is.
we have this podcast.
Okay, next.
Give me a memento, por favor.
So Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
There you go.
My personal rating, I'm going to give that one, I'm going to give it a 75.
Okay.
And I'm going to say critics gave it a 70 and that audience gave it an 80.
Okay. Well, you're wrong. Critics gave it an 86
Oh,
and audience gave it a 98.
wow.
Wait, did I read that right? Yeah, 98. 98.
Well, there you go. They have it. There it is. Rotten Tomatoes. White Just Tea Gets Fresh. Ooh.
Why do you have to make this so catchy?
I know. It's so fun. Okay, so going back to it, now let's talk about the Superman trailer. I've been very excited, very looking forward to the trailer, and like literally counting the days. I'm not a huge comic book fan, so I'm not entirely familiar with everyone's backstories, but I'm more peripherally aware. And as far as like the superhero movies, I've seen a good amount of them. I know as far as Superman is concerned that Christopher Reeves is like the Superman. And you got people on like some other camps, mainly Snyderverse, but
He's just for the looks, to be honest.
and the muscles. But
The looks.
If everybody was following along with the Snyderverse, they came out strong with Man of Steel. They came out strong with BVS, although the extended version of that makes everything make more sense of that movie. And then Wonder Woman was fantastic and amazing. Aquaman did
Can get out of here.
well. It did super well in the box office, but it was starting to like take on this different tone. What am I missing?
Flash.
The Flash was at the very end after all of these other. Everything had its sequels and everything, and
The Justice League movie? No.
oh, yeah, that's right. The Justice League movie, but Joss Whedon ended up taking over that one, and it just turned it into. So it just the Snyderverse started strong, and it had a very steady downhill. After James Gunn and Peter Safran took over DC, now they're the heads of DC. That choice was there to make. Do we continue with the Snyderverse? Do we keep some of these people, or do we start all over? And the answer is he got rid of Cavill, and so now we have a new Superman played by David Cornsweet.
Is he sweating corn or is
Grow
corn sweating him?
up, Elva.
I'm just saying, okay? You give me a name like that.
So James Gunn directed Guardians of the Galaxy. So he was able to take these properties that nobody cared about and put some strong writing into it and make people fall in love with it. So now you have this thing that everyone is familiar with, all of these IPs, and he is absolutely giving a shit about it. So I want to get your reaction
Mine?
on the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and set it up.
Okay. Do I commentate on was a hard fall, though. I feel your pain with Ethan.
I still get chills.
From James Gunn.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
Ooh, they're giving me like an emo-y, gothy look. I love it. Oh my god, a nerdy one.
Yeah, he looks great as Clark. Pa can't. God, that soundtrack.
Is this who I think it is? Get out of town. No way. Get out of here.
It begins.
Puppers! Get out of here.
Oh, God, it's so cute. Look at that.
Oh, dude. Baldy for sure. Superman. The can got dented. Wait, who's that?
Green Lantern and Hawk Girl?
Okay.
Hawk Girl.
Who's that? Oh my god!
Mr. Terrific.
Oh, that was gonna be a kiss. Oh, it comes out my birthday weekend? Hell yeah, that's what I'll be doing.
Woo-wee. Oh my God, dude. That is my third time, I think fourth time watching that. And God, I am just so excited for that.
Okay. Before you give your little 2 cents about everything else, I gotta tell you everything right now. And is first of all, he's giving me like alt boy, emo-y, nerdy. All he needs is some tattoos, and I'm all in for this. Superman. And I think, I'm sorry, Henry Cavill, you were just there for the looks and the muscles, and I thought no. This one is more my type. I am so sorry, but this one has a dog. The dog beats every other
crypto,
super.
man.
I know it's crypto. It beats every other Superman that didn't have a dog involved. Can you just give the dog the award now? Because let me tell you, that is the cutest. Forget everyone else that was cameoed, okay? I'm all here for the dog. Woo.
So after experiencing all the steady flops from the Snyderverse that it was coming out with, my faith in DC was absolutely restored with this James Gunn and Peter Safran helming the ship. And the proof of their success is, I think, a very amazing trailer. Like, some people don't do trailers well, and this one, man, it did a lot with the theme and everything. Of course, I'm cautiously optimistic because of all the nature of all the bad superhero movies that were coming out. But this really, in my opinion, looks promising as hell. We're getting a lived-in world with the Justice League that's fully operational, comic-accurate costumes, and I know that David Cornsweet and Gunn were going back and forth on whether to do trunks or not. We saw it on screen. It looks super well. You get the original John Williams score that's connecting us to the 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman that absolutely everybody, holds so near and dear. Personally, the feeling I get from what they just showed us, honestly, is what the symbol means too, is hope.
Chills.
And chills. Hope in this DC, now DCU, no more DCEU, DCU, that Peter Safran and James Gunn are building. I'm loving how it's being shot. I like the lens that they're using. I'm loving the sweeping camera movements. It's making it feel like it's not Superman in our world. We are now in his world, in Metropolis, in the world of all the superheroes. It really does genuinely feel epic. And if Gunn is true to his word, in a recent interview with Collider, which we'll play a clip in a second, but in essence, he said that a film will not be greenlit if I don't think the screenplay is good enough. So I'm hoping that we're going to get a really awesome story with this. I could be completely wrong in the future. We'll see how it goes. But man, I'm super stoked.
Like, here's a thing for me besides having like the whole like like screenplay and everything and the actors and like the whole movie, it making it like you just gave us like a really bomb ass trailer. I am sorry, bomb ass trailer. This trailer gave me chills, and it's very rare for me to get chills off of a trailer.
It's true.
But
Very true.
it is very rare for me to not see a trailer or have it spoiled. But if James Gunn comes out with another trailer later on, I will personally be writing him a letter, personally be having that priority mailed FedEx with signature telling him that there is emotional compensation for a second trailer being released that we did not need.
You know what? That's actually, dude, that is a strong point.
And I'm going to need proof of signature. Proof that it was received. Read, I don't care.
Man, a lot of times, especially with like the BVS, Batman versus Superman, where like the subsequent trailers like showed way too much and it ruined the whole, you're like, whoa, don't show those things. I don't think I'm going to watch any more trailers that come out.
You better not.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch any more trailers that come out. This is it. That's all the trailer that you need.
Because the fact that you watch this, like, what, 4 or 5 times, you should not be watching a trailer.
I wasn't pausing and analyzing. I was just like letting it wash over me.
Yeah, no. You should not be, like, the first view of a trailer is what makes or breaks it for you.
Yeah.
For us who go to the movies every week, at least 3 times, maybe more, maybe less, depending on what we're doing. We skip trailers because you see trailers and you start to analyze those trailers. And once you start seeing the movie, then that's when people are like, well, I feel like this movie is very going towards the fans and not towards like what it really needed to be.
Yeah.
And you're wrong because you watch the trailer way too many times and you analyze that shit to where you ruin your movie. And then you're ruining for everyone else.
The reason I personally watched the trailer again was because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't in like an easy headspace. I wanted to make sure that it was actually good, you know? Because sometimes that anticipation, you watch it and you're like, yes! And then you watch it again and you go, oh, I was wrong. No, just again, this is like the 4th time I watch it and I think it was amazing. So I want to quickly play a clip of James Gunn because I try to quote him, but I want him to say exactly how he's treating this DCU. By the way, Superman is like the 3rd thing that's come out in regards to the universe that he's in charge of now. The first thing was a documentary on Superman. The second thing is Creature Commandos, which is on Max, and it's an animated series that is a continuation of The Suicide Squad that came out a few years ago. So here's James Gunn.
Be based on the writers. And until we have a screenplay that I'm totally happy with, that movie's not going to get made no matter what it is. Today, people are greenlighting projects because an IP has to be out on a certain date, which means that the screenplays are worse and movies are suffering for it. And TV is thriving because there's so much good television out there and movies are just really suffering. And it's not because people don't want to go to the box office. It's not because, people don't care about that format anymore. It's because the movies aren't as good. And it's all comes down to the writing, and to have a director out there, shooting his heart out and trying his best with something that doesn't have a 3rd act. It's just self-sabotage. And we got to quit doing it as an industry.
There you have it. There it is. James Gunn's passion for this universe. I am extremely excited for what we're going to get in the future. I mean, I don't know what more to tell you. Like, from his mouth, that's what you want from a director. That's what you want from someone that's in control of the entire thing. People were wanting Snyder to take over DC. I don't think it would have went well, because if
he tried and failed.
Well, yeah, like Rebel Moon. We talked about it before, but like he had Rebel Moon. He can shoot the shit out of everything, right? But the stories aren't really there. The structure isn't really ever there. And James Gunn, I think, is going to do a really good job. I mean, it's been promising so far. So we will see in the near future. So, I mean, I saw some people that were like extreme fans of 1978 Superman that were really shitting on it, which I think are the same people that hold the original Star Wars trilogy near and dear. They don't want anything new. And let us know what you thought about that Superman trailer. Whether you hated it, whether you loved it, whether you're excited, if you're scared, if all the other superhero movies had you apprehensive about these things.
Okay, so like this trailer was amazing. I also would have a bone to pick. I'm gonna be rude right now.
Good.
But I have a bone to pick with people who think that like when comic accurate things come out and it's just basically going towards like, oh, they're just trying to make this for the
Fan
fans.
service, yeah.
Fan service. I'm like, what the fuck have you been complaining about? Oh, you want comic accurate, but you like complain when the movie comes out and or like content comes out and
It
you're
is so
like,
true.
it's fans. Get the fuck out of here. All right? Get the fuck out of here. You can fight me if you want to.
She
but
has
get the
spoken.
fuck out of here. No, thank you. And that was my rant. Dun dun dun. Did you do the dun dun dun?
I did, yeah. All right, now we move on. We're gonna land the plane now, and we're gonna get out of the angriness, you know, and move into something fun, and to a segment that I simply call YHSD Trivia. And the trivia is usually based on the movies that we talked about. In this case, the trailer that we just saw, Superman. So Alva's gonna quiz me and test my Superman knowledge. I'm gonna disappoint so many fucking people here, but I already said that I'm not hugely versed on Superman, so ye be warned. Abrupt stopped. But the sound effects will be inspired by Sonic.
There you go. That was my question. That was my question. I'm sorry. Okay. Question number 1. Don't look at my screen.
All right.
Superman was created by Stan Lee, Bill Finger, Clark Kent, Jerry Siegel.
Jerry Siegel? Okay.
Hell yeah. Superman was born on what planet?
Krypton. Just making me feel safe.
Superman works along with Lois Griffin, Lois Lane, Lindsay Lane, Jessica Hawkins.
That question's so phrased wrong. He doesn't work alongside Lois Lane.
I'm just reading the question.
No, I mean like Clark Kent works
Yeah.
alongside Lois Lane.
Lois Lane?
Yeah.
That was your answer? Good.
There you go.
I need to rephrase that. I might go write them an angry letter too.
All the angry letters.
Superman made his first appearance on what comic book?
Action comic.
I forgot which was green.
She's dyslexic and doesn't know her colors. Green bad?
Green is bad. Superman lived in which city in the U.S.?
Metropolis? Okay.
These are too easy
not too
for
bad.
you. No. See, I'm being nice. Why do you give me the hard questions? Superman is commonly described as faster than the speed of light, more powerful than a bulldozer, and able to leap a giraffe in a single...
Is this a multiple choice?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to guess faster than a speeding bullet, leaping buildings over one bound. What's the middle one?
You got it right. There's powerful than a locomotive.
We're still trying to get better about like streamlining the trivia. I'm not going to write these things ourselves.
Superman is most vulnerable to...
Kryptonite? These are really easy.
Yeah. There was a radio series of Superman that called The Adventures of Superman. True or false?
True? Okay.
These are freaking easy to get out
Yeah.
of
Do you
town.
want to dig up a hard one?
Nah, I'm gonna just throw a curveball at you one.
Good.
As of October 11th, 2008, there has been blank movies. How many movies?
How many Superman movies? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say 5.
You looked at my screen, damn you.
I swear to God I didn't. I promise you, you can see it in the chat. My eyes are up here. I was pondering down there.
True or false? Dun, dun, dun. As of October 11th, 2008, DC Comics / Time Warner and the heirs of Superman co-creators own the copyright of Superman.
True or false?
Yeah.
True?
I took this quiz and I got an F. So,
Is that the whole thing?
yeah.
There you go.
I only got 3 out of 10 right.
She was asking me some other ones like, is this a trivia pretty good? And it was like deep diving into some really background stuff, and I was like,
Should've
dude,
given you
it's
those.
definitely that one's for hardcore fans, not
I
the
should have
peripheral
given you
ones.
those. Because you gave me some hard ones last time, so I should have given you those.
And there you have it. There it is. There's the Superman trivia. YHSD Superman trivia. In just a moment, we're going to wrap up. Reminder, Sonic the Hedgehog. See it. The kids are going to love it. Mufasa.
See it.
See it.
Because why not?
I don't know if the kids are going to love it. But there you have it. There it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, once again for listening to our show. For those who were live streaming it, for doing so. And if you haven't done so already, check us out on our social media.
At FOREHED Films.
It spells out Forehead Films.
Yee.
And there you can DM us. You can hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you thought about our discussion. Let us know what you thought about the movies that we just talked about. All of our links are there. If you were just live streaming it, you can actually listen to our full podcast and stuff.
Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel that we have.
Yeah. Did I mention the Venmo? Venmo us if you'd like to support us at YHST Pod. All of the things. Thank you, everyone, once again. Join us next time.
It supports my coffee addiction.
And I did pay her an ice cream, by the way. Paid in full.
Yep.
Big Sunday ice cream on a Sunday. Sunday and a Sunday. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Tune in next time. And in the meantime, let us know what movies you have in your growing list of films that has people asking you the question. You haven't seen that?
Okay, bye.
Adios, folks.